Dice Tower Tonight, episode 32.
The most wonderful time of the year.
Welcome to Dice Tower Tonight. Oh my goodness. I'm listening to myself.
Oh, you don't have your YouTube muted?
Yes.
I do that sometimes, and yes, it always is very jarring.
Welcome to Dice Tower Tonight, a video cast about board games and card games, and especially the people who play them. On tonight's show, Tom is already in Philly for PAX Unplugged, so Crystal and I are on our own. We'll challenge each other to some devious games, chat about some we got to the table recently, and discuss what we like to play with our families over the holiday. And of course, we'll take your questions live. I'm Eric Summerer, and joining me now, the river to my Simon, Crystal Pisano.
Oh, we kind of are like brother and sister. I love this one. This might be my new favorite.
Oh, good.
Also, Tom would definitely be Captain Tight Pants because he's grumpy. So Mal is definitely Tom if we have to throw him into the Firefly equation.
Well, now I'm going to have to bring it back. We'll wait a few weeks, but
okay.
I'll bring that one back. So yes, we are here at our respective homes. I am headed to PAX Unplugged tomorrow evening. I still have one book to finish here in the studio before I can take off and join the rest of the crew. I keep seeing all these tweets and social media posts of folks arriving at PAX Unplugged. It's going to be a good time, but I'm feeling left out, even though I'll be there in another day.
Yeah, no, this is my turn to feel jealous. Even though I was at BGG and you were jealous of me, now I get to be jealous of you all at PAX. And it's funny because I had multiple people message me through various channels like, oh, are you going to be at PAX? And I was like, Philadelphia's really far from Vegas.
It is.
I have a full-time job. So it's really, and I'm going on the Dice Tower cruise in January. I'm already maxed out on vacation days and stressing hard about how to handle some of my trips.
I'm doing PAX Unplugged this week, and then I'm home for 2 days, and then I'm off to the Dice Tower Retreat week one.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a little. I'm looking at my calendar like I got to get books done here, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time and a lot of fun. But we should mention something, especially when Tom's not here.
I know what you're talking about.
Something that we are both going to enjoy in the somewhat distant future, and that is a new concert tour from Mr. Yankovic.
I am so excited. I cannot tell you, because he had kind of been teasing that he was going to follow up the ill-advised Vanity tour with something new and cool. Right. And I was like, what could he do different, really? Like, if he's done, done all the covers in the past and he did the originals this time, like what else is there? He's going to be performing with a full orchestra in every single city he goes to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't wait. I've heard albums of other novelty artists doing this sort of thing. Like the Arrogant Worms did one. They called it Semi-Conducted. They performed with a Canadian orchestra. But I don't think Al has ever done this, and it's going to present some really fun ways to do cool gags, I'm sure. My kids are interested once again. They didn't want to see the Vanity tour. They like the costumes and the video clips and all this stuff. And all that is back with an orchestra. He's performing at Foxwoods, one of the casinos here in Connecticut. And I'll be there. But I missed the opening of the tickets. They went on sale, is it like a week ago Friday or something?
It was during BGG Con, and I was stressing out hard. My friend Melanie bought my ticket for me because I was like, I can't handle this.
Yeah. So yes, I was ready. I had I had the email in my inbox ready to go, and then that was the day that we got hit with snow. So the kids had a delayed opening. I had to shovel the driveway. It was all this extra stuff that had to happen because of the snow that day. And my engineer canceled work. She couldn't make it out of her driveway. I wasn't working, so my whole schedule was off, and it slipped my mind completely. The entire weekend went by, and I suddenly realized, on Monday, I didn't get the tickets.
Oh, no.
And then I ran to the website, and it had crashed. The website was down. I couldn't even get at the tickets. I finally called the box office. The guy's like, yeah, I think we got a couple left. And I managed to get tickets in the nosebleed section. But almost missed out. I was going to be very, very upset if that didn't happen. So I'm excited. The kids are going to enjoy it. Can't wait.
Yeah, so he did not come to Las Vegas during this past tour, which I was bummed about, but then it gave me the opportunity to travel. So I went to St. George, Utah to see him, and I went to Chicago to see him because I turned it into a vacation with my friend. But this time he is coming to Vegas, and he's coming to my favorite venue in Las Vegas, the Smith Center, which is this gorgeous venue that is like they do 10 like touring Broadway productions a year. It is a spectacular venue. And I have seen music artists in it before as well. Actually, my favorite concert that I've seen there, not the Broadway stuff, but just music, Alan Parsons Project actually came through Las Vegas and performed at the Smith Center. And that was a spectacular show. And yes, I know I'm the youngest person on the planet who's a fan of Alan Parsons Project, but I'm always the youngest person in the audience at one of their shows. I've seen them twice now, but I'm so excited to see Al in this venue specifically.
Awesome. So, all right, before we lose the chat completely, we should move on to some gaming content. What have you been playing lately, Krista?
I wanted to give a shout out to something that I mentioned in my live Q&A on Sunday. I'm not going to talk about it extensively because if people want to hear my deeper thoughts, they can go watch my live Q&A from Sunday. But I wanted to give a shout out to Holding On, The Troubled Life of Billy Kerr. As of Sunday, I had not watched Tom's review of this game, and I now have. And in Tom's review, he basically said, it's an okay game with a great story, and it's not fun to play because it's touching on very serious issues. And all of his points are valid. I think the gameplay is better than he gives it credit for, although I do agree there are cooperative games that are better mechanically, but that's usually going to be the case. The story, I'm only 2 scenarios in, but the story is incredibly compelling. I think it is fun, but fun is different for me than for most people. Like, I like movies with unhappy endings, and I like things that subvert what you typically expect. So like, I don't like happy endings all the time because if it's completely predictable, it's not fun. So for me, something that is dark and depressing can be fun. That sounds odd when I say it out loud, but regardless, I like it. Go watch my Q&A to hear more.
Yeah. Real quick, I'm only 1 scenario into Billy Kerr, and we didn't win that first scenario, and I'm feeling very detached to the story.
Yeah, first scenario is not great at all. Like, as soon as we played scenario 2 is when I kind of started to fall in love with this, because scenario 1 takes longer in general just because of how much stuff you have to collect to complete it.
Yeah.
Scenario 2 was faster, more interesting, and gave you more of the story. So, and I think Tom said this in his review as well, definitely at least play through the first 2 scenarios before passing judgment. And I've also said, in theory, my opinions could change as I continue on, but thus far, I'm liking it a lot.
Okay, I'm still excited. I just, I did feel I was less engaged in that first scenario, but part of that was that we didn't complete it. We failed, and I haven't seen beyond that first scenario. So,
yeah, you don't learn a lot about Billy right away, so.
That was my complaint.
And then I got this in the mail today.
Oh boy.
I played it at BGG-Con, but obviously not my own copy yet, and I'm excited. This is also the first time I've seen the deluxe marbles, which those are pretty cool looking.
Yep.
I'm digging those. And I got the painted minis, but I didn't get any of the expansions, so I'll maybe have to pick up some of those at some point, but I wanted to go easy. I mean, as easy as you can for a box that big.
I haven't played any of the expansions yet. We've played the base game 3 times now. But I hear the bees and the tiger. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Bees is the one to go with.
I've heard that as well. And so I feel like, yeah, that's probably the one I'll end up picking up. But my nephew turns 4 in February. And so eventually, I'm sure my sister will bring him out to Vegas to visit me. And I'm really excited to own this game to play with him because he loves his Auntie Crystal. And so I'm going to teach him fun games.
Yeah, my kids are really enjoying it too. And I think this is going to hit the table at Family Game Day, which we'll talk about later in the show. That's going to be one of the hits that game day, I'm sure.
So the other game that I wanted to mention a little bit more in depth is this one. It is called Belr. I know some people at BGG-Con, myself included, were tweeting about this one. It came out at Essen. It is not widely available in the States at this point. So I've heard that you can order it from Amazon.de, from German Amazon, but then I heard it was out of stock there. So I'm not 100% sure what the availability is currently, but I know you can get it some places. Belrati is a cooperative card game that has a mechanic similar to the Mind, in that players are playing cards to the table silently without speaking to one another. What you are trying to do is every round, there is someone who is a curator of the art exhibit. I will give you, show you some of the cards. So all these cards have little pictures on them. They're just kind of random pictures of stuff. And 2 cards get chosen each round to be the theme of the exhibition that round. And then the curator chooses a number between 2 and 7. That is the number of paintings that they want to have submitted to the gallery. All of the other players then must silently play that number of cards to the table. So you can't talk to each other about like, well, this one's pretty good, this one's not. And what you're trying to do is play paintings that the curator will be able to identify that you played them. Because what's going to happen is Belrati is also going to play. Belrati is a rat. Here, hold on, I'll show you Belrati. This is Belrati.
That's a little detail you totally skipped over.
I know, right? I realized, I was like, oh yeah, and there's the AI Belrati. He's a jerk. He plays 4 cards at random. Everybody else plays cards based on the theme. So for instance, you might have this one in your hand and play it because, oh, well, it's red and the Santa hat is red. Or if you had like an evergreen tree in your hand, you might play that one to go with the Santa hat. If you had something that was medically related, you might play it along with the wheelchair. So you're trying to play cards that the curator will be able to identify and pick out that, oh, this was played thoughtfully to one of these 2 cards.
Uh-huh.
They lay out all the cards, including the ones Belrati played. Obviously, you shuffle them up, lay them out, and try and identify it. For every card that Belrati slips in, that they say, okay, this one got played by one of you all, and it wasn't, it was Belrati. Belrati gets a point. And then for every card that they get right, the team gets a point. And you're trying to get to 15 or more points before Belrati gets to 6. It sounds kind of weird, but it is so much fun in practice. I really like this one a lot, and I was surprised by it. And it was funny because when people were saying the name to me before I'd seen the box, they kept saying Belrati, and I was like, what word are you saying right now? And it's the name of the rat. It's just Belrati. Like, I'm assuming it's a German pun of some kind because most German games like this, like the name of a thing is a pun, but I Googled it and couldn't figure out anything. So it's a small box, which is great. It's cooperative, so it's good in that regard. I like cooperative games a lot. Yeah, it's a tiny box, little tiny box. So thin. I like it a lot. It's fun. If you like the Mind and you're looking for something kind of similar but a little different, this is one that I think you should take a look at.
Huh. Very cool.
Yeah.
I also have an Essen release. It's called Magic Fold. Magic Fold.
Ooh, is this the one that's like the same as that other thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's 2 other games that are similar. One is called Fold It.
Yeah.
And the other one I am actually totally missing. It's an adventure game based on the same system. I just wanted to show you on the cover though that doesn't that wait, where's the Gene? The Jin. Isn't that Z Garcia?
Oh my gosh, it's Z
I think it is.
as a genie.
So it's
a
company,
Gene Z.
Gene Z. So the company that was putting this on, Happy Baobab, they took their display and they actually cut that Jin out of the display when they were breaking down their booth at Essen and gave it to Z to say, hey, it's you. Anyway, this is from Bruno Catala and Johan Go.
So wait, it's by Bruno Catala. That's Z's favorite designer, right?
Yeah. Bruno was not part of Fold It and the other fantasy one that I'm totally. It's not Magic Fold. It's a different title entirely. But anyway, every player has one of these. It's a cloth that has these symbols, 4 different types of symbols and 4 different colors. It's actually the same. So you've got the turquoise castle on this side, and then it's the same on the other side.
Okay.
And you are trying to. There's a whole path board. That Yes, you are. I'm trying to unfold it as fast as I can.
I know the dog is very upset here. I'm going to mute my microphone briefly.
Okay. So you're trying to get from one end of this board to the other and make progress along that path. Each round, let me grab a couple of these. You will turn over 4 of these cards. And this one says you just have to get 2 blue squares on your cloth. This one, some are more complicated than that. This one says you need, it doesn't matter what color they are, but you need to have 2 buildings and 2 moons. Yes, that's right. And then it has the reward below it. So if you manage to do that particular thing, you'll get to move forward a certain number of spaces or get some sort of rewards like wild tokens, those Jin tokens, like on the cover of the box, that can act as wilds for certain quadrants of your board. So there's also some action tokens that I've got stuck in this bag here. So these are also next to the cards. There's a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4, and they have varying rewards. So you're going to fold your sheet as quickly as you can because you turn these 4 cards over simultaneously. Fold your sheet as quickly as you can to match one of those patterns. So if I was trying to do the 2 blues, let's see, I gotta fold. You can only fold along the lines. How do I do the 2 blues? Now I gotta do this. There we go. And then I have to fold it this way and fold this way. And now I have folded the whole thing into a 2x1 array with 2 turquoise squares. I would grab the little token that was next to that card, and I have completed that card. Nobody else can complete that card. Then you turn a timer over, and you once the timer is done, if you haven't completed any of the cards, then you don't get to move forward that round. Anybody that has completed their card correctly gets to move forward. There are some spaces where you get a little shortcut. There are some spaces that if you go there, there's a nasty token, a snake token, that's some sort of penalty. You might have to use only one hand for the next round. So if you're not careful, you may end up moving the wrong number of spaces and get like a negative. There's also a way to move some people backwards, only one space. But it is possible that you can bring the leader back a little bit, which could send them to the snake, even though they planned to skip over the snake. It's good fun. Some of my family members were a little frustrated at the very beginning, because you start that timer when someone completes one of the cards. You could have somebody that's working on one of the more difficult arrays and trying to move forward a good number of spaces, and someone just does that 2 blue square thing super fast. Fold, 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 fold. I'm done, and starts the timer. And everybody else is like, "What? But I'm still working on these much more complicated scenarios." And this timer is not very long. It's 15 or 30 seconds. What we ended up doing was making the timer go twice. So we flipped the timer once, and when it ran out, we flipped it again. Then time was up for the rest of the group because you can't just go forever.
Right.
Then there's no challenge to it. But we found that one time through, the timer was almost a little too quick. There are scorings for playing multiple rounds of this. I don't think you'd need to do that. I think one game is plenty here. You don't want to make it overstay its welcome. But we had a good time, and my brother-in-law loved this game. Really enjoyed. He's like, that game about the folding, that was really good. I want to play more of that. So I think it's successful. Now the trick here is I bought both this and Layers, which I talked about a few weeks ago, at the same booth. It was like a special if I bought them both at the same time. I don't know if I need both of them because they're basically the same thing. Arranging something as quickly as possible and then moving forward or getting points because you beat everybody else to it. I may enjoy this one more because there are multiple things you can do. Instead of just being the first to come up with one array, you could go for the simpler, easier one that you can get, or take the risk and do the more complicated array that will move you forward more. I like having more choices there. So I think I prefer this to Layers, but I still like Layers a lot. They don't take up that much room. I'll keep them both for now. But anyway, that's Magic Fold.
And someone in the chat just said that Beltracci is an infamous German art forger. So apparently, Unless they're making it up, which honestly, I'm gullible, so I'll just believe you. But that seems legitimate, and that would make sense. So that's pretty cool.
Very
But
cool.
yeah, I can see why layers and full Magic Fold don't both need to live in your collection. But I would be curious to know if people who are like good with like visual puzzles, like if certain people would be better at one over the other, since it's a different type of manipulation.
It is. I mean, layers is much more of a visual. You're looking at the flat image and trying to figure out how your layers can turn into that. It is sort of a slightly different skill set. Whereas this one is a lot more manipulative. It's almost like Rubik's Cube, like that you need to be able to visualize. I need this symbol to end up over here next to this symbol, and how do I fold the whole thing so I can get the two of them together? Yeah, I guess they are different, even though they sort of have similar gameplay. Here's what you need: move as fast as you can to manipulate and go.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, we have come up with challenges for each other just for fun because, Tom's not here to give us any, rewards of review games or anything like that. Would you like to be the clue giver first or second, Crystal?
I will go first only because I've done another game that I feel might go swimmingly or could completely fall flat, and so I don't want to go second.
Okay.
But what's fun about what I've done this time is you're actually going to be playing against the chat.
What?
Yeah. So I figured out a way to do this, I think, because the chat is on a delay. So they don't get the audio quite as quickly as you do. So I feel like you've got a chance. And what we're going to be doing, and first off, hold on. I have to say, chat, listen to me for 2 seconds.
Just
love
2
you
seconds,
all.
though.
Just, okay, more than 2. But I love you all. But please, please, please don't cheat, because that's not fun, especially because it's going to make it harder on Eric. So when I tell you what you guys have to do, don't pull up lists. Don't go to websites. Don't go to things that are going to help you solve what I'm about to tell you to do. I trust you all, and I think you can do it without cheating. So you can do it. I believe in you. All right. So what we are doing, somebody in the chat said, oh, chat will cheat. No, I think I have faith in you all, and I really want you all to try, because I think it'll be fun. So what we are doing is we are playing the anagram game. So my trust is misplaced. I mean, probably, but I like being positive. So what I have done is I have taken the names of some common board games and fed them into an anagram maker and created anagrams out of them. So what I'm going to do, Eric, is I'm going to read you the anagram. And you have to tell me what board game it is before the chat does. And again, they're on a delay, so you have a slight advantage. But I'm hoping they don't cheat. I'm hoping everybody can just kind of, and also let me give you an example.
Sure.
So this one, not a competition.
Okay.
But it's real funny, because if I gave you the anagram accordion, what board game would that be?
Concordia.
There you go. And
all right.
I figured that was appropriate for the example, since Weird Al plays the accordion.
Yes.
And
okay.
I fed Concordia in, and I was like, oh, it's accordion. So.
Okay. I'm ready for this. We can do this.
I think we can do this. I've tried to pick pretty common games generally. Okay. So let's see. What are we going to do first?
I'm really nervous right now. Okay.
I think you can do it. All right. So number 1, and I'm going to be watching the chat to see if they put it in the chat before you say the answer.
Yep.
It is Camp Dine. D-I-N-E. Camp Dine.
Camp Dine. Can I do accordion again?
You could, but it's not the correct answer. And the chat's got it. Steve O'Rourke has correctly guessed that Camp Dime is an anagram of pandemic.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that works.
All right. I'm going to make sure I mark these off as I do them so I don't go back to them later. All right. Number 2. Here we go. And note, the number of words in the anagram will not always necessarily match the number of words in the board game title. So if that's helpful.
Yeah. It's not, but okay.
I mean, all right. Number 2, dim onion. DIM onion.
Dominion.
That is correct. All right. So that's 1 point for Eric, 1 point for the chat. I should be keeping track of this because, stakes.
Steaks. We're playing for steaks?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Omaha steaks?
Let's go out for steak. I'll fly to Philly because that's easy to do. And then we'll just, A lot of people in the chat got that one. They got it after you, but good job, chat. You're doing great. All right. Number 3, Badger Lou. BADGER Lou. LOO.
Badger Lou. Regil. No. Rebellion. No.
The chat's got it. Bramp Sanderson correctly guessed that Badger Lou is an anagram of blood rage.
Blood rage. Yeah, this game's great.
I know.
Okay.
I mean, if nothing else, the chat's getting to play along, so that's fun. All right. Number 4. Oh, I got to put here. Hold on. Chat gets another point. All right. Number 4. Aquatic dares. DARES. Aquatic dares. There's a Q in it. I figured.
Yeah, Requiem. What has a Q? In the top 100. I know I've got 3 seconds, and
they've guessed a couple things, but nobody's gotten it yet. Chat, I know you're not cheating, and I appreciate that. So good job. Or actually, this one might be hard to feed into an anagram maker and get a board game title.
Yeah, probably.
Ooh, I'm proud of this one. Nobody's getting it.
Oh man, Nequadria.
It is 2 words.
Aquasphere? No.
No.
Queen Domino.
Nope. Somebody said Aquatic Dares is the game. It's a trick.
Aquatic Dares.
I'm making people's brains hurt. I'm sorry, chat. All right, I'll give you all about 10 more seconds on this one. Y'all are going to kick yourself. It's in the top 100 on BGG. This is a very popular game. Tom loves this game. Oh, and the chat's got it. David Dyke guessed correctly. Aquatic Dares is an anagram of Arcadia Quest.
Yeah, sure it is.
Well done.
Oy.
All right. Let's see.
I've got one of them so far.
You have. I think you're doing great. I mean, it's 1 against a whole chat room. Truthfully.
Yes, this is like 1 versus 100.
Yeah, like you're doing well.
The mob.
All right, let's see. What do we want to go to next? All right, for number 5, fewer yolk. So FEWERYOLK. Fewer yolk. And it is 1 word.
One word.
The chat's got it. We had a couple people that answered right at the same time. Wordsmith Thoughts and Gene Moore, both almost identically at the same time, guessed that it is keyflower.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, Eric. I always pick such hard games for you. Anytime Tom's not here, I take on the Tom mantle. Let's see.
Before we started, Crystal was like, "So, how are you with anagrams?" I said, Anyway.
I mean, I'm doing it regardless of what you answered. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to think whether the longer ones are going to be harder or easier. My assumption is harder, but let's try one and see.
Let's do that.
So again, top 100 on BGG.
Okay.
Fantasied Roof. Fantasied Roof. ROOF. Fantasied Roof.
Can you tell us how many words?
4 words. Sorry, I should have told you that. 4
A
words.
feast for Odin.
Yeah, you got it. Oh, and you just barely beat the chat too. Ryan Espin said it literally a second after you answered. So
yeah, but Ryan didn't have the clue of number of words. So,
well, you know what? He had
yep.
the collective knowledge of the internet, technically.
No,
he gets... all right, this one's just funny to me. So I'm going to do it, even though I don't know how easy it's going to be. The board game is 1 word. The clue is lei, L-E-I, like a Hawaiian lei, lei pecs, P-E-C-S. Lei pecs.
Wow. I think that should be easy.
It should be.
Not.
Single word on the top 100 of BGG.
Escape.
Ooh, no, so close. The chat's got it. Daniel Hooper correctly guessed that it is eclipse. You were so close.
Yeah. I just missed several letters, and they were in the wrong position.
See, at least when you get things wrong, I'm nice about it, unlike Tom. All right, chat has 5 now. All right, let's see. Let's go to this one. All right, the board game, again, in the top 100 on BGG. The board game is 3 words. The anagram is Brawlers Relations. BRAWLERS Relations. Three words.
Relations.
2-player game. Top 100 on BGG.
Not Lost Cities. Twilight Struggle. No. Brawlers Relations.
The chat's got it. Jeff Rademacher. Oh, no, wait. Somebody said it before you. Sorry. John Fahey was the first to say it. It is Star Wars Rebellion.
Oh, man.
I know.
Yep.
Let's see. You know, I didn't actually put Merchant of Venus into an anagram maker. I really should have done that.
Yeah, and then I wouldn't get that one either.
Here, well, we'll do that maybe in a minute when I have a free moment. If I have during Q&A, I'll look up what anagrams we can pull out from that. All right, we're gonna do 2 more. All right, the board game title is 1 word. The anagram is Ace Demons. ACE Demons.
Snowdonia? No. Macedonia.
Top 100 on BGG. Good gateway game, but pretty newish, only the past few years. It's a great party game, technically.
Code names?
Yeah, you got it. Hooray. Eric gets a point. Chat was right behind you.
Blood pressure's just going like, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so last one. I did not know that this game was in the top 100 on BGG. So I'll give you that as kind of a clue as well. It's a newer game, past couple years, and I didn't know it was in the top 100. So the board game is 2 words. The anagram is inlaid strips. INLAID strips.
Inlaid strips.
Oh man, somebody in chat already got it. Wow, that must have been like immediate. Gene Moore, well played. Oh, and a couple other people right away. Yes, inlaid strips is an anagram for Spirit Island, which I did not know was in the top 100, but it is. So
Still have yet to play that one.
you know what? I haven't either, and I wanted to play it at BGG-Con. Eric from What's Eric Playing loves that game, and I was going to have him teach it to me, and we just never got around to it. But it's on my list. So the final score of the massive amount of people in chat.
You don't have to keep making me feel better.
You got 3. I honestly think that's impressive considering, because anagrams are more of a visual thing. Like, it's way easier if you're looking at the letters, and you were not. So I am fully impressed. I think you did great.
Sure.
You did. I'm not being condescending. I really do.
All right, now it's my turn to torture you, Chris.
Hooray!
So I'm about to head to PAX Unplugged, and that got me thinking about things that are plugged and the invention of those things. That's right, we're playing Timeline.
Oh no, I'm so bad at this game.
So for those of you who have never played Timeline, I have, in this particular case, 10 inventions that are all things that use or involve electricity. The front side just says the invention of blank, and then on the back side is a date of when that object or device was invented, first appeared. Crystal's job is to put these in order, and the way we're going to do this is I have my little Game Right card holder, and we're going to stick them in here as we go. So I'm going to reveal one of them, and then reveal another, and Crystal's going to have to tell me where it falls in that row. I have 10 cards, so perfect score would be 10. Once we're done putting them all in, we'll go along the list, revealing the dates. And once you've made a mistake, then we see how many you got right, and that's going to be your score.
Oh no! Like once I get a mistake, I'm done.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll do them all.
Okay.
And you can adjust. I mean, nothing is final till we put all 10 in the holder. Okay.
So I have to give a disclosure to chat. I am a very intelligent person, but when it comes to history and specifically dates, I am very, very, very dumb. Like the biggest events in history that everyone should know when exactly they happened, or even thereabouts. That information doesn't stick in my head. So please don't judge me when I put things in very ridiculous places. Okay, let's do this.
Right. I have shuffled the stack. So we're going to begin. Our seed item is the invention of the telegraph.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to put that.
I feel like I have an idea of when that might be. I am actually going to use my other window to cover up the chat because I don't want to cheat. So
all right.
I can't see.
They're not supposed to be cheating either, right?
I mean, they shouldn't be, but we know chat. No, we don't. Chat, you're lovely. We love you.
The invention of the electric battery. Is it before or after the invention of the telegraph?
The electric battery. Good. So we've already started somewhere where I don't know what to do. Because like I'm trying to think of like a lot of things were powered by fire or gas for a long time. Like electricity as a whole is pretty new. The telegraph was powered by something. So I'm going to say that the battery came first before the telegraph.
Battery before the telegraph.
You know what? I really shouldn't talk through my logic because then when I get them all wrong, it'll make me sound worse.
Nah. Talk through your logic.
Okay.
The invention of the light bulb.
Oh gosh, they're all so similar. Filaments are what make the light bulb work. It's the whole chemicals inside of the glass and the gas trapped inside there. But lights, it's electric lights. But did the electric lights come before the electric battery? I feel like no. I feel like it would have been easier to do the battery than the light because trapping the gases inside the bulb feels like something that would have come later. So I'm going to say between the other two.
So battery, light bulb, then telegraph.
Yeah. Oh, this is already going so poorly. I'm glad I can't see chat.
Invention of the laptop computer.
Laptop computer. We're going to put after all of the others.
There you go.
I love it when it's
See, this game's easy.
Oh, right.
Invention of the color television.
The color television will come between the telegraph and the laptop computer.
Between the telegraph and the laptop computer is the color television.
Yes.
Next up, invention of the transistor.
Transistor. So transistors are what powered radios. Right? Like, because a transistor radio is a thing, and that feels like an older type of radio. But then, would that be then after the telegraph? Because telegraphs, I feel, that was how to communicate, though. But radio waves, oh, I don't know anything. Okay, so we're going to put the transistor after the telegraph.
After the telegraph, but before the television, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So, right now,
oh man,
as it sits, you say electric battery, then light bulb, then telegraph, then transistor, then color television, then laptop computer.
And I'm pretty sure about the last two only.
The invention of the lightning rod.
Lightning rod. Okay, so we're talking like Tesla stuff. No, wait, lightning rod would probably be way before Tesla, because he was like, the Tesla coil was a much more powerful thing than just a lightning rod by itself. Lightning rod feels like something that would be really early, like super early, because, yeah, let's, what's the first one in the list currently?
First one is the electric battery that you have.
Yeah,
there.
way before all of it.
All right, first in the list, says Crystal. So, lightning rod. All right. The telephone. Invention of the telephone.
Okay, so the telephone definitely comes after the telegraph.
All right. But is it before or after the transistor?
Ooh. Let's go after the transistor.
Before or after the color television?
Before the color television.
All right. So transistor, then telephone, then television.
Yeah. I mean, telephones have been around for a hot minute, but transistor is the wild card in there. I really don't know when transistors were invented at all.
You only have two more to put in the array.
Okay, this was a good game, by the way. I'm loving it, even though I'm probably horrible at it.
The compact disc.
Ooh, the CD. Okay. What's funny is CDs actually started hitting like not wide, but like distribution earlier than I assumed. I heard this at one point that like they started coming out in like 1979, I want to say. So that would be before the laptop computer, but definitely after the color television.
All right, that's where I'll put it.
But yeah, I always have thought CDs were newer than that because I was born in '84 and I listened to cassette tapes for a long time before CDs were like popular.
Okay, one more. The invention of the computer mouse.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, computers have existed since before the CD, definitely. But whether the mouse existed, I don't know. I think I'm still going to go before the CD, right before the CD, after color television.
Okay.
And all I can picture when you talk about a computer mouse is the scene from Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, where Scotty picks up the mouse and says, "Hello, computer."
Hello, computer.
It's so good.
Oh, the keyboard. How quaint. Okay, so let's go through the list and see if there are any changes you want to make. First, you say it's the lightning rod.
I feel confident about that one.
Followed by the electric battery.
Sure.
Followed by the light bulb.
Okay.
Followed by the telegraph.
You know what? Actually, let's switch the light. No, just leave it. It's fine.
Then the transistor.
Okay.
Then the telephone. Then the television. Then the computer mouse. Then the compact disc. Then the laptop computer.
I think I'm just going to have to leave it because if I overthink this, I will screw up probably what little things I have correct. So We'll just go with it.
So the lightning rod was in 1752.
Okay.
So I think you're right there.
Okay.
Then the electric battery, 1800.
Oh, that's actually pretty close.
The invention of the light bulb is 1879.
Ooh, that's a bigger gap. Things might have happened in between.
The invention of the telegraph was in 1837.
Telegraph first. Okay.
So that's the first one. That's where you messed up. So you have 3 points.
Okay.
After the telegraph, you said the transistor, which was in 1947.
Okay. So that's way later than I assumed.
Uh,
Yeah.
the invention of the telephone was in 1876. So you had messed up on the transistor as well.
So wait, what was the 1879 one?
1879 was the light bulb. So the light bulb came after the telephone.
Wait, the phone came before the light bulb?
Phone came before the light bulb.
Wow, man, people were using lamps to talk on the phone.
And then I think you had it right from there on out.
Okay.
The invention of the color television was 1938.
Okay.
Then the transistor would have gone in.
Yeah.
Then the invention of the computer mouse was in 1963.
Okay.
The invention of the compact disc, you were spot on, 1979.
I don't remember where I heard that, but I heard it and it stuck because I was like, wait, that's 5 years before I was born.
And the laptop computer was 1981.
Oh, that is earlier than I assumed for that as well.
Yeah. So you messed up on the transistor and the light bulb, basically. Everything else you kind of had in the right order.
I'm proud of myself. I think I did okay.
You did very well. Very well. And hopefully your brain didn't explode.
No, it did not. That was fun.
I didn't watch how chat did on that one because I was busy holding the card holder.
That was good. So we've actually, let's see, we started at 6. It's already 6:45, so we have 15 minutes left. So maybe we spend about 10 minutes 5 to 10 minutes talking about games that we like playing with our families around the holidays, and then we'll take a few minutes worth of questions at the end.
Sure.
Cool.
I know I usually like to do a game day after Thanksgiving. I ended up being traveling on Black Friday this year and didn't get to do it, but I am planning to do a big game day with my brother who is flying out from LA for Christmas. So the day after Christmas this year, we're going to do a big family game day. We're hosting this year, so I don't have to transport games anywhere, and I'm really looking forward to it. One of the games that my family really, really enjoys is Roll For It.
Okay.
It's a very simple dice allocation game, but it can play up to 8 players if you have 2 of the basic sets. I think the deluxe set plays at least 6. And you're just rolling dice and allocating them to cards and trying to complete sequences before your opponents. Do you go for a difficult card that's worth more points, or do you go for the simple ones you have a better chance of completing? They're decisions. They're simple decisions, but there are decisions, and everyone can jump in really, really easily. So that's one that has always worked well with my family.
That's cool. And I guess it kind of goes without saying that a lot of the really popular gateway games do tend to work well with family members generally. But I think I kind of tried to pick some stuff on my list that is not top of mind for most people. So I didn't put things like Ticket to Ride or Catan on here, even though I think those do work well in a lot of scenarios. Yeah. So one of the ones that I always take when I play with my family that I don't hear people talking about almost ever is Rumble in the Dungeon, which is a game from Yellow. There are a couple variations of this as well.
Rumble in the House.
Yeah, it's basically the same game where you lay out all of these tiles to form the dungeon, and then you put these little standees of a whole bunch of different characters into the dungeon, and no one is required to move any particular character, but they get assigned 2 of them at the beginning of the round secretly. And then you want your people to last as long in the dungeon as possible. And all people do on their turn is either move one of the characters in the dungeon from one room to another. And then they can start rumbles and one of the people get eliminated. It's very, very simple mechanically. I think it's a great gateway game because it's really simple and it's quick to play. And it always is a hit with my family. And I'm kind of surprised that people don't talk about this one as a lighter game. But yeah, it's published by Yellow. I think it's still in print. I haven't heard of it being out of print, but again, I don't hear people talking about it at all. And it comes in a pretty small box too. And also the components you could actually throw into another box easily, even if you wanted to.
Yeah, and the different sets can also mix together, I think, fairly easily. If you have Dungeon and House, you can do it. There's a Tom Vassell promo for this game too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does he have a little standee?
It's a little standee, yeah. It's Tom.
I will admit, I was a supporter of the Dice Towers Kickstarter for 2018, and I picked the promo set that has the King Domino stickers. So now my little King Domino figurines look like you and Tom and Sam and Z, and it's really adorable to like. But then I have to choose which one to be, and that's a very difficult decision for me.
So similarly, there are promos for Ice Cool that are the penguins can be the four of us, and
Man.
I have overheard my son at a convention that had these promos in the library copy of Ice Cool, and I heard him say, "I want to be Tom Vassell." You can be Eric Summer.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Oh, so good.
Yeah. Another one that's worked well for my family is the word games, code names, which we mentioned earlier, and Decrypto working very well. And also in years past, we haven't done it much recently, but the trivia game Seen It, the one that has the DVD and the way the questions are phrased and worded in that game makes it a good team game to play and work together and notice clues and split up the adults and the kids and even out the knowledge levels, and you can have a pretty good group game. My family doesn't like to really split into like small tables, so they try and do more things that more people can play. Larger group games are good for the game days.
That makes sense, and I think that's why for me, not just board games, but the Jackbox Party Pack games have become a hit generally with my family as well, because those are super approachable, and a lot of them will accommodate larger groups. And even if you hit the player count, people can still join the audience and participate in the game, even if they're not one of the active players. And so you can technically accommodate as many people as you want, and that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So when it comes to word games, I actually I have a couple family members that have liked dedicated word games in the past, things like Scrabble. And I found that Wordsy actually is pretty approachable for new players. It's really simple. And it's nice because you don't have those constraints of having to spell a word with only the characters available to you. You can spell any word you want, and you just score well based on how many of the available letters you used. So I think that one's a really good approachable word game for people, especially if your family loves Scrabble or other older word games, Boggle, things like that. I think Wordsy is a really good one to bring out.
I'm trying to think of any others. I was actually on another podcast talking about what family games we like to play. And I know I'm missing one of the ones I talked about on that show. It was the Stacking Benjamins podcast. And I know I talked about Roll For It and the word games. And now I'm totally drawing a blank on what else we like to play.
That's funny. I mean, I can just rattle off a couple others that I tend to bring when I'm hanging out with my family. And one game that I bring with any group, anytime, always, if I can fit it in whatever luggage I'm using, is Strike, because Strike is amazing for everybody. And I know it's out of print, and I'm sorry if you don't own Strike, everybody out there. Find someone that has a copy and purchase it from them at a reasonable cost, hopefully, because that's what I did. I love Strike so much. It's the best. And it's good for literally hardcore gamers, light gamers, people who've never played a game before. Strike is great. If you have people in your family who are music aficionados or just love listening to music, Drop Mix is a great one, especially party mode. And oh my gosh, Drop Mix was on sale on either Black Friday or Cyber Monday on Amazon for $30. $30. Yeah, I don't know if they'll do that sale again, but I will tell you, people, I own Drop Mix. If you find it for $30, buy it. It is definitely worth that.
Wow. I might have actually bought it at that price.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to get the Transformers promo card for Drop Mix. Somebody had one. They're like, "You want this?" I'm like, "But I can't use it."
Okay. But you Eric.
I should have.
You definitely should have. Those things are hard to come by.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Drop Mix is great if they like music. I think party games in general tend to be great with families. Stuff like Wits and Wagers, Telestrations is good.
Yeah. Telestrations is a big hit with us too.
There's a new one that just came out or is just coming out. And I don't remember the publisher, so I'm gonna look it up real quick. I demoed it at BGGCon, but I believe it is out now. And it is called Trap Words. Have you heard about this one, Eric?
I haven't heard of Trap Words, no.
Okay, so Trap Words is from Czech Games Edition. And it is basically like Taboo, where you're trying to get your team to guess a specific word. But instead of Taboo, where the other team is just looking at a list of words that you're not allowed to say and hitting a buzzer if you happen to say them, in Trap Words, the other team comes up with the words that you aren't allowed to say, but you don't know what those words are. So like if the word was wicked, for instance, then the other team might write down witch and green and musical or whatever. You have a certain number of words that you get to write down based on what level of the path you're on.
Right.
But they don't know what words you wrote down. So then you get this weird moment where you're trying to describe an item to your team using vague terms that you think they didn't write down. But then there's this meta where, oh no, maybe they did write down the vague ones instead of the obvious ones. So I think I described lemonade and I was like, it is a liquid that you put into your face hole. And is I don't remember how I got to the lemon part. I don't think I used sour because I think I would assume that was a trap word. But I literally was like liquid you pour into your face hole because I didn't want to say drink or beverage. And they were all cracking up, but they got it. And I used to like Taboo and I really haven't played it in a long time. This felt fun and refreshing. And I think if your family likes Taboo, Trap Words is probably a really good one to get.
Oh, that sounds fun. I mean, I played at Thanksgiving. We did play a few games, and Catchphrase came out, one of the classics. I had the old school version with the paper wheel, but now there's all the electronic versions, and that's pretty solid. My son really enjoyed that one. Team based and trying to get people to guess clues, but the hot potato nature of Catchphrase is cool as the beeping gets more frantic and you're trying to get rid of the thing as fast as possible. Just some fun moments as somebody just manages to guess it and can't hand off the unit before it beeps. That's a good.
Definitely. I think a lot of those oldish party games still have some stayability power for sure. Balderdash would be another one in that group. I still adore Balderdash. All right, so I think that's a pretty good group. If anybody else wants any more recommendations for great family games to play during the holidays, feel free to hit Eric and I up via email or Twitter or the Dice Tower Facebook group or wherever. And I'd be happy to provide more recommendations if you all want, if you happen to like the type of things that I like, that kind of stuff. But we have a few minutes left, so we will take some questions before we sign off. So if you have any questions for Eric or Eric's upcoming trip to PAX Unplugged, my past trip to BGG-Con, Thanksgiving, any of that kind of stuff, please let us know. Drop them in the chat. And we'd be happy to answer them.
Coming up this weekend, I'm going to be doing a live show with the other guys from the video part of the Dice Tower. Tom, Sam, and Z. I get to be the fourth chair on a top 5 list live at PAX, which will be entertaining.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I know they just finished the top 100 games of all time.
They did.
The live stream had more than 3,000 people watching at the same time, which was a record for them. That was really neat.
It's pretty cool. Has anybody heard anything about Pandemic Legacy Season 3? Nothing official. I've heard rumors. I think they're working on it, but nothing's been announced.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either. I imagine once that news gets out, it'll get out pretty big and quick, probably.
Oh, I'm sure they'll announce it far and wide when.
I mean, because it was 2 years between Season 1 and Season 2, and I want to say they announced Season 2 formally. Like they said that they were working on it. But Season 2 didn't get announced formally until like a few months before it came out, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, it's all time is compressed between all of those. I'm still waiting for Fall of Rome to release. So let them get that out first, and then Legacy 3 can come out.
There you go. Scrolling up so I don't miss any questions because they're going by quickly.
Yes. How long is it going to take me to drive to PAX U? It should, I'm hoping, take about 3 hours. Yeah. If traffic behaves on a Thursday evening, it should take about 3 hours.
Eric, what is your favorite taco filling?
Uh, well, I mean,
I like that you laughed and then you were like, "Wait, this is serious business."
well, yeah. If I only had to, I have to pick one
Well,
filling.
no, it's your favorite, like the thing that you gravitate toward in a taco.
Guacamole's got to be in my taco.
See, and I'm not as big on tacos as a lot of people because combinations of foods are weird for me since I'm a picky eater. But I tell you what, man, chorizo is like my fave. I love chorizo.
I mean, I'll put just about anything in a taco, but I will put guacamole on whatever that other stuff is.
Crystal, when do you join the Dice Tower full time? Unfortunately, I can't answer that question because I guess if in theory, if I showed up in Florida with luggage, they would maybe take me in. But I'm pretty sure that's not probably something I'm going to be doing anytime soon. So I don't know, pester Tom? Like, I can't.
So you're not going for the video editing gig, is what you're talking about.
I am not going for the video editing gig. I do have some video editing experience, but not enough, I feel, to do that full time at this point. So that is not a gig that I am pursuing. But who knows? I mean, couple years down the road, something else, if the Dice Tower continues to grow, I would obviously love to be added to the team full time. But since I'm far away from Florida and I currently have another full-time job, I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon. But, I would love if that could happen eventually. Let's see. Eric, how do you stay so positive through all of Tom's sass and harassment?
I go to my happy place. No, I just, a lot of it's bluster, folks. I mean, he's really a nice guy.
He's playing a role.
He is. I'm just used to the banter, and I'm looking for the rare opportunities when I get him back. So I'm just a little more patient and waiting for I do plenty of ribbing of Tom too. So, we get each other pretty much.
Yeah. I think Tom just likes playing the grump in general. So it comes off like that more. And for those of us, it's funny because we even I think it was not last episode, but the one before that, Tom was in a pretty crummy mood before the stream. And he admitted as much. He had a bad day, whatever else. Yeah. And then we did the stream. And after it ended, he was in a much better mood. And I was like, you got to hang out with your buddies, Crystal and Eric.
Nothing like a little abuse to raise your spirits.
That is what I was getting at, but no, probably true. Oh.
What's your favorite heavy game from Czech Games Edition, and what is your favorite party game from them?
Well, I'm going to have to go to their list to see.
I think it's got to be Codenames for the party game, and then Through the Ages is my favorite heavy game there.
Sort by. Let's see here.
You actually have the stats.
Well, I had the page up earlier for Trapword, so I could just click on Czech Games Edition, so I can see what games that they've published. Because I've never played Through the Ages. I've honestly, I don't think I've played any of their heavier games. I haven't played Alchemists. I would like to play Dungeon Pets at some point. Ambi and I talk about this pretty frequently because she loves it and she will teach it to me. We just haven't gotten around to it. Trucker, but honestly, I generally only play the app. I don't play the game in person much anymore. Codenames Duet, I actually like better than regular Codenames. So I think of their party games, Codenames. Well, is it a party game if it's 2 players? Really
it's a very small party.
It's a very little party. Let's go to the next page and see if there's anything else on here that rings a bell. Yeah, I haven't played a lot of CGE's games, truthfully. I mean, honestly, Trapwords, now I've only demoed it, but that one was pretty good. So that might be my new favorite party game of theirs, and I don't think I've played any of their heavier games.
Oh, cool. What's the last solo game either of you played, if any? I think it's got to be Palm Island was my last solo game, and I recently got Maiden's Quest, which I've heard is similar, but I haven't been able to get through the rulebook yet. I hear there's another rulebook coming, so I sort of shelved it to get the next edition of the rulebook. But I haven't seen or heard when that's coming out.
Yeah, I've heard that the rule book for that one is not the best. I like the idea of the game though, and I'd like to try it at some point.
Yeah, I ran for it at Essen. Like they got copies on either Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Sunday, and I had to run to get them before they sold out. And then I still haven't played it yet.
That's how it tends to go.
Yeah.
Last solo game I played, I do not play a lot of solo games. Well, I guess in theory I do on my phone. In app form, I play Ganz Schon Clever all the time. Like that's kind of one of my, like, if it's late at night and I can't quite fall asleep, I'll pull out my phone and play a game of that just because it's short. And it's it's not mindless, but it's not very thought necessary, I guess. As far as like physical games, honestly, I think Legacy of Dragonholt is the last one I played solo, and that was earlier in 2018. And I love Legacy of Dragonholt, and I honestly highly recommend anyone who picks that game up to just play it solo, because it's a great experience solo.
Seventh Continent is the one I want to play solo, but every time I think about it, I'm like, I don't know if I have the time to do a run of that. And so I'm afraid to even get started based on the amount of time I have available.
I'm so bummed that I got so soured on Seventh Continent. Like, yeah. I recognize that enough people that like things that I like it, that I should probably like it. And I love point and click adventure games and other things that like evokes, but having played 16 to 17 hours of it over 4 sessions with 4 players, it was nothing but misery. And I really, and I'm not going to buy it at this point. My friend Greg does own it. His copy is what we were playing. So honestly, at some point I might ask to borrow it from him and try one of the not that first scenario, but one of the shorter ones solo and see if I like it. But it's just hard for me to want to play it again.
Kabuki Kid mentions that you can pause it whenever you want. And yes, I know that. It's more of, do I want to clear the space that I think I need to lay the map out and everything. It's almost like I don't even want to start. And then I look at Palm Island and go, I can just hold that and do that all in my hand, as opposed to laying out a whole game.
Well, not to mention Seventh Continent has like a lot of things that you need to remember while you're playing it. Like, if I like that thing was located in that location on that card over there. And so if you put the whole thing away, I feel like it would be difficult to come back to and do well at least based on my experiences with it.
Yeah, maybe. You almost have to take notes and go, yeah, I remember I was going to do this next. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we might need to start wrapping things up here.
Yep, we're a few minutes past, and it looks like the questions have slowed down a little bit in the chat.
Everyone sort of decided to ignore us, and they're all sort of doing their own thing now. That's fine. They can do that.
We're glad that you all like talking with each other.
Yes. So, yeah, I guess I'm off tomorrow to Philadelphia, and then I've got the Dice Tower retreat after that. What do you have coming up in the next few weeks, Crystal?
My birthday?
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. It is in, let's see, 2.5 weeks? Yeah, December 17th. It's 8 days before Christmas, which is always kind of a bummer but it means December is my favorite month of the whole year because I get my birthday and Christmas music and Christmas food and lights and all of the things. I love the holidays so much. Right. December is the best. And now that I live somewhere where I don't have to shovel snow, it's even better. Yeah, that does sort of dampen the enthusiasm, at least. Yeah, December in Missouri used to be pretty rough, but here in Vegas, it's like, it's 55 degrees. So that actually sounds quite pleasant. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So yeah, have fun at PAX Unplugged. Have fun at the Dice Tower retreat. I so wish I could be at one of the retreats, but I will be on the Dice Tower cruise in January. So yes, and I'll be there. My wife will be there. We're gonna have a good time. Awesome. So until next time, I'm Eric Summerer. I'm Crystal Pisano. And you've been watching Dice Tower Tonight. Thanks for watching. Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. Tom, Crystal, and I will see you in 2 weeks for another installment. Our show is supported by viewers like you. Thanks. Dice Tower Tonight is produced by Tom, Crystal, and me with assistance from Derek Porter and Rob Searing. The stunning revelation that Dick Grayson's kid starred in NYPD Blue and CSI Miami provided by Robin's son Caruso. Timothy Finkham composed our theme, and hosting is provided by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games at great prices at coolstuffinc.com.
Give us your feedback on the Dice Tower Guild at Board Game Geek on Facebook or Twitter, or by emailing us at dicetower@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit the other shows in the Dice Tower Network. Find something new at dicetowernetwork.com. Until next time, from all of us at the Dice Tower, have fun gaming. Woohoo!
So I know Tom does this thing where he usually like waits a few seconds to click the stop button,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't have anything funny to say.